Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for January 17th. January 17th is the 17th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, with 348 days remaining to the end of the year, 349 if it's a leap year. January 17th is the Christian feast day of St. Anthony the Great. He's believed to have been born in Egypt in about the year 251 and chose to sell his possessions and live as a hermit, choosing an ascetic lifestyle. He lived out pretty much in nature, his diet consisting of nothing more than bread, salt, and water. While there were ascetics and hermits before Anthony, he's thought of as the first monk or the father of monasticism in Christianity because of the community that grew around him. This Anthony lived to the age of 105. There's also St. Anthony of Padua, the patron saint of lost things, but today's St. Anthony the Great is the patron saint of animals, skin diseases, farmers, butchers, basket makers, brush makers, and grave diggers. St. Anthony. Today's word is ascetic. Ascetic is an adjective that's described as meaning practicing strict self denial as a measure of personal and especially spiritual discipline. Austere in appearance, manner, or attitude. Synonyms include severe, stern, and austere. This word comes to us from Greek, a word that means laborious. First known use of the word ascetic is 1646. What about acetic acid, though? Acetic acid is a noun, the name of a colorless, pungent liquid acid that is the chief acid of vinegar. As I understand it, it's the acetic acid in apple cider vinegar that's so good for a person. But discussion of that topic is better left to someone more expert in the field. Interestingly, the word acetic in acetic acid actually comes from a different source. French, Latin before that, Indo-European before that, and it means to be sharp, as in sour. First known use of acetic in this context is 1788. Same spelling, different sources, different meanings. Interesting. I want to take a moment to mention that it's a big old world and a lot of things have happened on January 17th, so I'll try to bring you some new things that I haven't talked about yet, but if you want to see some things I have covered before, I'll put iCards up there in the corner for previous January 17 episodes. And so, with that, this is the birthday of American publisher, diplomat, inventor, and politician Benjamin Franklin, born January 17, 1706. Included in his long list of accomplishments, several of which I have mentioned in a previous episode, he was the first United States Postmaster General. Benjamin Franklin lived to the age of 84. This is the birthday of the amazing actress, game show panelist, television personality, and animal rights activist Betty White, born January 17, 1922. What a gal. She was in the midst of planning her 100th birthday party when she passed away just a few weeks shy at the age of 99. Betty White. Maintained since 1947, the Doomsday Clock is a symbol that represents a likelihood of man-made global catastrophe, according to the Bulletin of the Atomic Scientists. It's shown as an icon of a clock with time given in minutes or seconds. When introduced in 1947, the time was given as 7 minutes to midnight. Reevaluated in January of each year, the time on this representative clock has been reset forward or backward a total of 24 times since 1947. On January 17, 2007, the Doomsday Clock was set to 5 minutes to midnight in response to North Korea's nuclear testing. And in case you're curious, it's currently set to 100 seconds before midnight, where it has been since 2020. Today's song is Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head by B.J. Thomas. Written by Burt Bacharach and Hal David for the 1969 film Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, the song was released in October of that year. B.J. Thomas said in a 2011 interview that apparently the song was a little out of the ordinary for songs of that day and met resistance by some radio stations who didn't want to play it until the movie came out in December, and then the listeners couldn't get enough of it. Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head won the Academy Award for Best Original Song of that year and went on to hit the #1 spot on the Billboard Hot 100 on January 17th of 1970. It held that spot for 2 weeks. Raindrops Keep Falling on My Head by B.J. Thomas. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with the link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include the link to my blog page that is called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, Parler, BitChute, and Getter. All those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time. January 2nd. Do that one again. There's a little birdie on my front porch. Don't know if you can see this little rainbow up on the wall behind me. I have a crystal, a faceted crystal hanging in my window, and the sun has moved around so that it's sending rainbows into the room, flinging happiness all over the place. Alrighty, back to work.